All right, I'm at the Getty Museum. Let's start at the end. I'm leaving the Getty Museum and this is what I found. This car parked next to me. How the hell did they even get out of the vehicle? So they've got all this space over here. Like, I've been parked here for 3.5 hours. And this car, when it parked, or maybe it wasn't this car, but it was a different car, it didn't park like that because I got out and the other guy got out and there was no problem. But this car, if it's the same car, I mean, this is ridiculous. I can barely get in here. If I can barely get in here, the question is, they could barely get out. How the hell did they do this? Man, are these like some tiny people? This is ridiculous. This is an asshole right here. So, I've already visited the museum and this is what I have to return to. This asshole parking the way that they did. So, yeah. I hope they didn't damage my vehicle in any way getting out. I mean, there's no space here. All right, well, whatever. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. So I'm just gonna get in here. Open my door. Open my door just barely. You dig? Gotta squeeze in here. Yep, this is me squeezing in here. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. No biggie. No biggie. See, it's no biggie at all. But I'm just like, come on, really? Like, really? Really? Let's go. I'm hungry. 109 or 109 is an idea as much as it is a number. I call it 10-9. To understand 10-9, it takes a creative mind willing to explore numerology, psychology, history, philosophy, and statistics. IC 10-9 explores the mysterious interpretations of this number from a myriad of perspectives. I've got to make a video about not spending $50 or more for a meal in Los Angeles. Doesn't make any sense. There's too many adventures to have in Los Angeles for you to spend, you know, a little less than $100 for 2 people on a meal. Just prepare your own meals in LA. You can do a better job. You may not know how to prepare certain foods and you might have a taste for something different, but save your money. Save your money because an expensive meal is not worth it. This experience right here cost me a little bit in gas and $20 for parking. That should be all that I spend today, you know? And whatever I buy or eat for food should be less than 10 bucks. But if you go into the regular restaurant to have a decent meal, it costs upwards of 30 bucks. Fast food, $10, $12. So all I'm saying is save your money. All right, so I'm leaving one end of the museum and I was looking for Moors for black men and women. I found a few and I didn't, although these were Italian works created during the 1200s and thereafter, I didn't see any mention of Ethiopia. So Lalibela and the churches were constructed, dated 1181 through 1200. But I didn't see anything referencing, you know, Ethiopia. Just curious, you dig? Now, if I had not known about Ethiopia and I mean, I'm so happy that I did travel and I've seen, you know, some different things and learned some different things. I would be very upset because all of these images are of white Italians. There are some Moors, there are some brown skinned dark people, but the focal point is very much Brad Pitt-esque. I'll say it like that. So it is what it is. The Getty Museum. I was here 8 years ago, but I did not get an extensive tour. We were just here for photos, and that was it. So now I'm getting the actual museum tour. Peace. All right, so yeah, they have like the Mexican exhibit going on, but I really want to see like an Ethiopian exhibit. I mean, we got the Italian exhibit going on. I mean, like where's that? Where's the Ethiopian? And if not, why not? We have a considerable amount of Ethiopians, Eritreans, East Africans in Los Angeles, California. So where is the big up to them? That's what I want to know. The Getty Museum, 2022. Last time I was here was 2014. Yeah. Yep. San Diego Freeway, Brentwood, Long Beach, San Pedro, Veterans Administration Hospital, Palos Verdes Peninsula, Los Angeles International Airport, Venice Beach, Santa Catalina Island, Santa Monica. What's interesting about this work right here is that from across the room, I noticed her features and I presumed that she was of African descent. And then I approached and read the name, and absolutely she's of African descent. It's funny how you know, like recognizes alike. You recognize yourself, you know. Could have been wrong though. Definitely could have been wrong, but it was just a presumption. It wasn't, you know, I wasn't sure. Could have looked like her. Hey everybody. So I kind of wrapped up. I'm kind of finished with my tour of the Getty Museum in 2022. Last time I was here, it was 8 years ago, and I didn't have as much time to visit all of the galleries. And in fact, I didn't visit any galleries. We were here only to get some photographs because this was the popular place to be. This is the Getty Museum, and let me give you some history about Getty from what I just learned, okay? So Jean-Paul Getty was born in Minnesota in I think 1916? No, 1896? Because he died in 1970 something. So he's about 80 years old, I guess, when he died. Yeah, so he died he was born in the 1800s. So he was born into money. His father was a lawyer. He earned his money in oil, became an oil, what is it? What do you call it? Oil maven,
oil billionaire, whatever. He's a white man, so he built his collection, traveling all over the world, collecting works of art, and we have the benefit today of visiting the Getty Museum to look at his collection and admire his collection. So the one thing that troubles me about this, or the one thing that I see being very clear, is that, he was a white man. And so all of the representations here that I've seen so far are of, white Europeans. Very few depictions, very few works of art that include Africans in them. There is a bust of an African, there are paintings with a few Africans in them, but largely the African presence is absent. Matter of fact, I just walked out of the display, the exhibit for the Virgin Mary, and there's no mention of Ethiopia or Eritrea, for that matter, anywhere in there, or any other African nations. But there are mentions of the Virgin Mary, in the Americas, the Virgin de Guadalupe, and also Armenia, and some other nations. But no mention of Ethiopia, no mention of Eritrea, no East African nations. And I think I learned in a Harvard class, Harvard has these extension courses on edX. I think I learned that the first Christian nation was in Africa. It was Ethiopia. There is some contention between Armenia and Ethiopia, but for the most part, it's Ethiopia. The other thing that I noticed about a lot of the exhibits, it's the timeline. I think the earliest work that I saw today was around the 1200s. Well, as far as I know, I did the research, but Ethiopia and the churches of Lalibela were constructed in 1181. So there is a rich history in Africa that isn't represented here at the Getty Museum. And of course, there's also a rich history in Asia as well that isn't represented here at the Getty. So Asia and Africa are completely, not even misrepresented, just simply ignored, by the Jean-Paul Getty Museum. Why was that? It's because he was a white man. Because he wasn't probably interested in any other parts of the globe, but, France is well represented here. Italy is well represented. A little bit of the Dutch, the Netherlands. So you get all of this representation from it, and it's skewed, But I understand. Jean-Paul Getty, he was a white dude, and he represented, whiteness. For him to have been a billionaire and for him to have done this, that's cool. And what I wonder about the modern billionaires of today, especially of Kanye West or Ye. Like, dude, if you got $1 billion, why don't you go and travel? Travel the globe. Go to Ethiopia. Get an education. Go to Eritrea. Don't just keep going to Italy and France and try to do the fashion thing, man. See the world is much larger, vaster. Take your billions and create a museum like this. The Kanye West museum. Instead of losing $1 billion from Adidas and Balenciaga and all these other people, man, take that billion and create a museum like this. Or at least travel the globe and learn about the rich history of the world beyond America and beyond Europe. That's all I'm saying. So, and imagine, these kids are getting an education. They're walking around the museum, they're seeing things, they're being exposed to a lot. And the question is, are they going to have an opportunity to travel? Are they going to be able to see the world through their own eyes? Or are they always going to have to look through this lens, this white American or this European lens? Because there's so much more. So those are my thoughts here at the Getty Museum, wrapping up the tour. I think there's a few other sections that I haven't seen, but for the most part, I've seen a lot. I'm curious though, maybe Jean-Paul Getty had a private collection, one that isn't shown to the public, where he does have African art. And this is only the Getty Museum. This isn't the villa, so he probably has even more art at the villa, and maybe he has, a representation of African art there. I don't know. I haven't been there. I'm only speaking about, my day here. But again, it's like this is only a small portion. This is only a small section of Earth, of the world's history. So, those are my thoughts. Peace and blessings. Yeah, so like I was saying, like, why do people come to the Getty? But really to enjoy their day and you know, spend it with some friends and maybe some family, and you know, take in some art. You know, it's a good way to spend the day. I wonder though, because I mean, what today is Tuesday. It's a work day, so I wonder if these folks don't have to work. You know. Well, it's a holiday for some folks. They're on vacation, enjoying themselves, taking in some art and all that kind of stuff. So, for me, shit, I'm out of work. I'm not working right now. So I took advantage of this day. I will be working soon, so, you know, I don't mean to alarm you by that statement. I'm not working. I'm unemployed. Nah, just a little bit. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting what I saw here today. A lot of European, you know, giving a lot of pride to Europe and all. But then there was this one exhibit, this last exhibit I saw, and it was about the Americas, and it was about, you know, the indigenous people of America, which was really cool because for the rest of the exhibit, they weren't really talking about that. So I appreciated that. Can I interview you?
For?
My YouTube channel?
You don't want me.
Why not? Why wouldn't I want your...
What's your YouTube channel for?
It's just me, you know, and my travels, and I talk about, you know, whatever. I just want to get your impression, like maybe ask you your reason for visiting the Getty today, what you saw, what inspired you, or what have you.
I was just sitting waiting for somebody.
Yeah, okay. So,
I'm sitting here wondering, is it something you could climb, or is it just art?
okay, right on.
Are you from here?
I'm from LA. And yourself?
Nope, Kansas City.
Kansas City, okay. Missouri,
Yes.
Cool.
Originally Tennessee, but
okay.
we lived out here for 2003 and part of 2004.
I'm recording you, by the way.
How are you?
Yeah, if you may not be on camera, but I'm recording my voice right now.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
What's your channel?
IC 109 on YouTube. So I've traveled the world and I've seen those numbers in very unsuspecting, peculiar, curious places.
The 109?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Where'd you come? Where have you traveled last?
Most recently, I was in Sweden. Yeah, I went to the museum one day. I walked into the exhibit, and there was 109 right behind the glass.
That's interesting.
I joined the tour, and she was pointing out all these things, and I could see right behind the glass 109.
Is that why you started your YouTube? How did you start it with that number?
Well, that was the most recent, sighting. How it started, I mean, those numbers represent my birthday.
Okay.
And no, it started like over 12, 13 years ago. I just happened to be somewhere, and I was like, first I was like, hey, that's cool, that's my birthday. But then after it happening so many times, and it's like, okay, this is kind of weird. So I started documenting it, and then I arrived at where I am now. Yeah.
Nice chatting with you.
Likewise,
Okay.
you too. Yeah, so I just talked with her. That was cool. So, you know, she didn't want anything, nothing in particular, just waiting for her family to finish their tour. So you got a lot of folks, a lot of families and things over here just doing what they do, seeing the sights. Got some people taking their jobs pretty seriously. Like this dude over here has to stand here all day just to protect those works of art. They should have something. They should have some signs telling people not to walk over there, stand or whatever. But you dig? It is what it is. I can't forget my jacket. I left my jacket in there, and if I forget my jacket, that's gonna suck. So you got some Asians. I noticed the Koreans were here. I mean, a whole bunch of white people. It could be from all over parts of Europe, you know, European ancestry and what have you. Yeah, then I see the Asians. When I see Asians, I just think of the billionaires, the number of billionaires that there are, like in China. More Chinese billionaires than any other country's nationals. Like almost 700 or 800 billionaires in China, whereas there are like 600 in America. And of all the billionaires, I'm referring to 2019's data in, I think it's Forbes magazine. There were 2,156 billionaires on the globe. Like most of them were Chinese. Sadly, like only 13 were of African descent, of blacks. I mean, you can include the Chinese and people of color, but just like black Africans and, you know, Africans, yeah, only like 13. Black Americans and Africans, only 13.
얼굴 너가 여기 하니까 정면으로 쳐다보이는 동양 사람들이 봤었거든. 그 아줌마
There was something there, right? Many people were all this like classic, neoclassical paint there was really around the 15th century. It's fine. I took a picture of that as well. Oh, this piece is already maybe the way they look at each other, as you were saying.
나는 뭐 컵하고 그냥 또 뺏겨 먹었어. 이제 빠지나 소리도 못하는 걸 왜? 신세계에서 모자로 도로 못했어. 신성이 보잖아? 아니 그렇지 않게 원형 백성 왔어. 그때 얘네가 애들이라는 걸 학기잖아. 그 다음에 다 몰아서 다 빠져버렸거든. 내가 뭐 왔어. 하루 이렇게 빠져야 되는데 지금 빠져서 너 진도랑 완전히 반대로 길어서 얘는 그냥 어디 빠지면 그냥 한번 같이 가요.
Window seat surfing on the wing. As an adolescent, I dreamed of big things. Climb to the top of the mountain to see the scene. Petty wap don't want me to have anything. I'm the captain, no jet lag. Boeing jet swag. Floating to the sunset, keep the drinks coming back. She summoned me, gave me turbulence on the sink. Pretty flight attendant, boarding pass, I'm a buddy. Stunting first class, vegan meal yummy. Writing the rhythm beats.